Hi, I'm Josh Henkin, creator of the Ultimate Sandbag Core Training System. In our blog post, we talked about the commonalities of actually running and deadlifting, activities that would seem very different from each other, but what makes them critical in their performance is what's happening at both the pelvis and the lower leg. Both require both mobility, flexibility, strength, and eventually power to do them correctly. The thing is, in both cases, both in running and deadlifting, people often compensate in many different ways and end up with varying injuries. So it's not that the activities are poor, it's basically we haven't prepared our bodies properly to do so. So we're going to show you some strategies in which you can combat that and get the most out of your performance. So one thing that we really emphasize in our Ultimate Sandbag Core Training is the use of single leg exercises. Having been a former athlete, basketball player that relied upon ankle stability and so forth, I can tell you how much it's been limiting in not having that benefit of lower leg strength and flexibility. So what we're going to show you in a moment is basically our basic stability. So Jessica's going to take the sandbag into our Zercher position. So this is our most stable base, keeping the elbows tall. She's going to get a long lunge stance. So we're always work from a up and down stance before we work in stepping. So let's just get into a long lunge position. So she's just going to go up and down at first. So while we do this, you see we're working from a base of stability, a stable base in the alignment of the sandbag, and the fact we haven't dealt with stepping yet. So we first then manipulate the load. So then she could put the bag on the shoulder. So now we're going to put a little more instability through the body. Nice. So her posture is always good, her alignment with the pelvis is always good. And then finally we can go overhead. Now with the sandbag, the cool thing about going overhead is it moves ever so much. So if you're not in good alignment, you're going to struggle to balance the bag. Nice. And come on up. So from there we can actually work with different stepping positions. So we can step forward, we can step back. We like to emphasize stepping backwards because it becomes a lower body pulling drill. Once we get into those same variations, Zercher, shoulder, and overhead, we can add complexity through things like our rotational lunge. So let's see that, Jessica. So now we're adding lateral forces to an exercise that's very sagittally plane based. The faster you move and the higher arc you use with the sandbag, the harder the stability. Nice. And then we could progress those same movements even further with our stability progressions by using the TRX. So we're going to put the back foot up. You can help the person in. And we're going to work through the same progressions. First in the Zercher position. And she's going to make sure to transition the leg back, stay up tall, and then she's going to pull the hip through. You just don't want to try to stand up. You want to actively pull the hip through. Let's try again. And that way you really tap into the hamstrings and glutes. And again, we can add complexity by changing the position of the bag to the shoulder. Again, now we're challenging stability in two phases. One is the motion of the back leg along with the position of the bag. And you're looking for compensation. She's doing a great job of stabilizing her lower leg. She's going to be gripping the ground. This is ideally done barefoot. And then the last phase we can do is add rotational component to it. So we're going to move slow at first, so we can remember we can always vary speed. So she's going to try to move the bag to the side. So again, manipulating stability through both the hinging of the TRX and the rotation of the bag. This does wonders for giving you good base stability of the pelvis, which is critical for both running and deadlifting type movements. Nice. So in our next video, we're going to hit 2 more core foundations in which you can build power development off of these type of concepts.